Hi, my name is Gurmeet Singh and I'm a professor here at the University of Transdisciplinary Health Sciences and Technology in Bangalore, India. In this university, we look at integrating the traditional knowledge systems with modern science, putting them together and address some of the main challenges on human health and wellness for the country and for the globe. We have a number of programs. One of those programs is around what we call as future foods, which has 5 pillars: personalized nutrition for the masses, healthy gardens, healthy kitchens, healthy lives, which brings forage foods to the table, foods and livelihoods, which looks at developing microprocessing units for rural communities to enhance their income. And then 2 programs, one on functional foods for brain health, for diabetes, for deficiencies such as iron, and one on food and sustainability, which is about proteins and processing them, vegetarian proteins and texturizing them. For both of these last 2 programs, we use the extruder facility, and what we'll do now is walk over to the pilot plant where we have the extruder and show you what we are doing there. So let's go. This is our pilot plant facility where we design foods and scale up the process for our functional foods and for our foods for sustainability programs that I just mentioned about. Yeah. We run a number of different projects here. So for example, one project is around trying to design foods for iron deficiency anemia, right? Foods which are natural sources of iron, such as greens and other vegetables which are very rich in iron, but which have a improved bioavailability of iron. So we're using an extrusion process to design snacks, non-mealtime snacks, right, such as these. This now incorporates a number of different greens from Ayurveda, green leafy vegetables from Ayurveda, along with traditional cereal as a base, and spices and other natural ingredients which improve the bioavailability of iron, right? And so our whole aim is to try and process them in a manner which is very convenient and tasty, right, and delightful. So these are chips you could just crunch and eat, yeah, like this. So this is one project. We have a very similar project, very similar format, which is a meal accompaniment snack, just like this, but for the benefit of glucose modulation, postprandial glucose modulation for diabetes, for pre-diabetes, for example. Then there are other projects such as projects which incorporate proteins like soy isolate, and we are trying to incorporate traditional grains like millets into them for textures, but also trying to bring together a very digestible form of protein-rich food, and extrusion improves the protein digestibility, but also complex carbohydrates by incorporating millets in them. They produce very interesting textures and very interesting colors as well, and that's the aim of this part of the program that we're doing with ICRISAT. And then the more traditional ones, which is trying to include botanicals into starchy matrices such as puffed snacks here, and then the texturized vegetarian formats, the dry texturized vegetarian format such as this chunky, and as well as the wet, the HMMA, the high moisture process, which is running in the pilot plant today. So what we do is that we characterize these ingredients in our chemistry lab, and we'll walk over to the chemistry lab as well after that, where we do all the physicochemical analysis. But we run these under a number of different conditions. So we have almost like 374 different experimental samples that we create for every protein that we work with, using different pressures, different temperatures, different heat profile, different RPM, different feed rates, and then characterize them for their textural quality, their hardness, their chewiness, their resilience, their cohesiveness, their anisotropy, the cutting strength across the transverse and the longitudinal direction. And from there we then pick up the appropriate conditions, whether we require to make a chicken kind of a meat analog or a mutton kind of a meat analog. Indian food is very complex. So there is not just one big format like a burger format, right? Every 100 kilometers, the way you eat chicken may change, right? Some may put it into a rice dish called biryani. Others may put it into a curry. Others may make it into a cutlet or something called a seekh kebab. So there are so many different, there are at least like 20, 30 very popular chicken-based formats which differ from each other in their way they are cooked. So what we also have on site is a very extensive kitchen laboratory, a 3,000 square foot modern kitchen where we can cook with 7 different flames, 7 different sources of energy, right from microwave to wood briquettes and to cow briquettes, the gobar briquettes, etc. So there are of cow dung briquettes. So there are a lot of different fuel formats that we can use and a lot of different cooking operations that we can use to create products. And then we can test those products with consumers and also using our instruments. So that allows us to create designer proteins for various applications. So those are the kind of projects that we have, as I said, sustainable proteins and functional products that we spoke about. So now let's go over to the chemistry lab and see our facilities there. So once we have extruded our products, whether they are texturized vegetarian proteins or functional foods that we prepare in the pilot plant, we bring them to our other laboratories. We have 12 laboratories and pilot plants to do post-processing work and analysis work. So this is one of those. This is the chemistry laboratory where we have the headspace chromatography here. We have a HPLC outside. We have a FTIR unit right here. We have the texture analyzer for analyzing the texture of the food products that we are creating. So there's a lot of analysis that we do. We also have the biology labs upstairs where we have the cell model system. We have various cell model systems and enzyme model systems. We have the Drosophila model system. We have the C. elegans, the nematode model system, where we can take our foods and feed them to run them through these bioassays and small animal model systems, and then look at their multiomics, the effect on either single pathways or multiomics, and see how they interact with the biology of the organism. So we have almost an end-to-end therefore, right from raw material sourcing to processing using some concepts to then characterizing the products in the chemistry labs and testing them in biology. And once we find a interesting hit, then we can scale up the process in our pilot plants and do community trials and clinical trials, right? So our consumer acceptance as well as for consumer benefit. We have a number of academic collaborations. We have a number of industry-sponsored projects and industry collaborations here as well. And across areas, a lot of them in working in this functional food space and in the texturized protein for meat analogs, for example. But also interesting uses of the extruder that we have. For example, we are looking at microbial proteins with one company, right, to see what would happen with the extruder, what kind of textures we can create. And then we are looking at sea algae and seeing what we could create with them. So we are very open to working on various kinds of systems in the pilot plants that we have and in the laboratories that we have, and create things which are of use to the society. So thank you.